I cannot imagine anyone legitimately listening to Jimmy Kimmel make that quote unquote joke and somehow thought it was funny.
The shooter, this guy Allen, comes from California. He's an educator. What is he listening to? What kind of content is he taking on that he thinks it's a good idea to put together a small arsenal of weapons, get on a train, traverse across the country, check your hotel where the president and cabinet members, key members of the cabinet will all be there with one goal in mind: to kill them.
I want to give a quick shout out to Synergy. If you're looking for an energy drink that's sustainable or gives you sustainable energy, I drink it every single day. And you want clean, pure energy. One problem that people face is that they over-caffeinate. You cannot drink drinks that have 200 milligrams of caffeine. You just can't do it. It's not sustainable. It's not good for you over time. And obviously research has laid that out. So we created an energy drink that's clean, that's natural, with 75 milligrams of caffeine. So you have just enough to get an energy boost and enough for sustainable brain function and energy. And then also you need to go to sleep at some point. The biggest problem in society today with energy is not taking more energy drinks. It is you getting quality sleep. And when you get quality sleep, you wake up with renewed energy. And that's why we have the day and the night cycle that you take 24 hours a day of coverage of energy. You get good sleep, you wake up with energy, you take good, sustainable, clean energy, and you do that for a week and your life will change or your money is back. Or I'll give you your money back. All right. Make sure you hit the links or whatever. You can pause it, scan the QR code, synergylife.com, synergylife.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got an exclusive interview. This is one that I've been waiting to do with an incredible man, Mark Beckman. He is the exclusive senior advisor to the First Lady, Melania Trump. And I want to hear his take on this whole drama scenario that is just played out with Jimmy Kimmel and his shenanigans. So help me welcome to the show, Mark Beckman.
How you doing? For having me. It's great to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you. It's my pleasure. People probably have no idea that we've communicated in the past, and I look forward to one day seeing you in person. But let's talk about. And you have a whole bunch of accomplishments. I know that a lot of great people are very humble. I want to touch on that just real quick. Obviously, you're the senior advisor, exclusive senior advisor to the First Lady. But also, can you give us a rundown of book that you've written, the podcast, and then also your marketing expertise and people that you've worked with in part, if you don't mind?
Sure, I'm happy to do so. I appreciate the opportunity. I have a cross-discipline practice. I am an attorney. I own an advertising agency. It's an award-winning advertising agency named DMA United. And I do deals for my clients. And most of my world comes from culture. So think in terms of fashion, art, music, sports, and entertainment. And my clients have ranged from Karl Lagerfeld and Tom Ford to Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, the NBA, Major League Baseball, Sony Music, Warner Brothers. We've done things for the Basquiat family, for Mandela. It's pretty broad, but 100% of my time now is for the First Lady. And what I do for her is I handle all of her branding at a foundational level, and then I stand up all of the commercial deals. So I was the person who did the movie deal for her. I'm a producer on the film, her books, her crypto, her meme coin, even the Christmas ornaments. In the middle, I do the humanitarian work, the work on philanthropy with Fostering the Future, which you might be familiar with, and then all of her communications over here. So it's an interesting business model. Like I said, it's cross-disciplined, and I've been at it now for a couple of decades. So it sounds sexy, but it's tough, man. It's hard.
I could only imagine. Hey, when you retire from working with Melania, we may have to hire you over here, man, because that seems like a pretty good resume, and it seems like you accomplished a lot and doing a lot of great things. And I just want to personally say, and I know my audience will agree, and thank you for working with the First Lady. It's incredibly important because I don't think she get the credit, the admiration that she deserves. I mean, she is one of the most beautiful first ladies, and my wife will always attest to this. She's probably one of the most well-dressed first ladies. She's very classy, not controversial. She loves America. She's a story of an immigrant who came here legally. She speaks multiple languages. I mean, for the love of goodness, like, how do we not celebrate her as probably the greatest first lady to be a first lady?
I really appreciate that. I really think she is. Personally, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to work with her because I'm doing the best work of my life. Think about it, Brandon. Like, I went ahead and I put together the biggest movie deal in documentary history. We got her the biggest deal, period. And then we're involved with helping people. So, for example, you and I were able to connect last month in March, but if you stretch the entire month, look what she did. She was the first lady in history for any country to go into the United Nations Security Council and address the members the day the United States took on the presidency. And she gave this iconic speech about peace through education, tolerance through wisdom. Then we pushed forward a couple of weeks later, and she kicked off the Fostering the Future Together Global Coalition meeting. First day was in the State Department, where she invited probably 20 best in class tech companies from Meta and Google and Adobe to Zoom and Palantir and X. And then on the second day, she broke another record. She had the most leaders of a nation visit a first lady at the White House for diplomacy purposes in history, almost 50 nations. And then I'm sure you saw the iconic imagery. She brought in the first humanoid into the White House, and that humanoid is a symbol of what technology and education can do to empower our children. And that was just March. The woman is incredible, and she's really impacting people's lives. And I'm extremely grateful to have the opportunity to work with her.
And now to the juicy part, probably the part that bothered you the most, probably over the last several weeks, and that is Jimmy Kimmel claiming that he made a joke about Melania being a widow. And I found that to be incredibly distasteful. I found him claiming it to be a joke, to be dishonest. I know that there is the First Amendment. People can say whatever they want to say, and they also can be criticized. So, what is your thoughts, and also the sentiment from the First Lady? What is she feeling about this? Because I know that obviously she come out and make a public statement, but behind the scenes, how is she dealing with the potential of people like Jimmy Kimmel and others suggesting and normalizing the assassination of President Trump?
Yeah, you're throwing a lot of ideas out there, and I hope we have a minute to break them all down. Let's start with this. Kimmel should be fired. ABC executive management should fire Kimmel. This isn't a legal issue. This is not a constitutional issue. What I'm talking about is just pure commercial. It's purely about branding. Why on earth would ABC want to be affiliated with an individual that is spewing divisive political rhetoric every single night into the homes of Americans? And remember, half of those homes voted for the president. It's not an isolated incident. You might recall that when Charlie Kirk, the great Charlie Kirk, was assassinated, he created a whole thread of lies surrounding Charlie's death. The guy is not a good guy. It goes on for months and months. And frankly, I don't understand why ABC would get behind him. Furthermore, if you look at the business model, he's got no audience, he's got no viewership, he's got no following. The financial model is broken. That was disclosed months and months ago. But on top of that, why do the advertisers stick in? What are they all doing, Brandon? Why are they connected and supporting this individual who is entirely divisive? It doesn't make sense. And at some point, something has to break. I think there's a bigger sickness in society, and it's within the Democrat cultural ecosystem. And that's what I think is going on here.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's business. Yeah, like I don't understand how they and we've seen a lot of them. I think Joy Reid got fired, Don Lemon was let go. I mean, a lot of these people, they get into this idea of Trump derangement syndrome, which leads them to be rude and disrespectful to Melania, the first lady, and they just lose it all. I cannot imagine anyone legitimately listening to Jimmy Kimmel make that quote unquote joke and somehow thought it was funny. I can almost guarantee you every single person was like, I can't believe he said that. This is not the right timing to say it, given the fact that Donald Trump has already been somebody. Many people have attempted to kill him. One shot him, and it's just completely distasteful. And I like that you pointed out that this is more of, instead of the constitutional claim or whatever the case may be, this is a bad business move for them. And where do you think they're going to let him go? Or you think they're going to, the building is going to go to the ground with him in it?
I don't think they're going to let him go. And the reason is because I think that ABC and its parent company, Disney, is part of this woke narrative. I don't think they'll break down. Hollywood puts a lot of pressure in. It's almost remarkable that I was able to secure this deal for our first lady, for Melania Trump, in the film industry. As you know, the movie begrudgingly went to number one globally on Prime for streaming. It was the highest opening in history of documentaries for the past 14 years. It's incredible what this film did, but Hollywood will not acknowledge it. You mark my words, they're never going to give her a best documentary nomination for an Oscar award. It's never going to happen. So ABC and Disney are part of this agenda. And when I talk about the Democrat ecosystem, we need to think about why, for example, with the shooter from the other night, right. This is all connected. We have this assassination attempt, President Trump's third assassination attempt. The shooter, this guy Allen, comes from California. He's an educator. What is he listening to? What kind of content is he taking on that he thinks it's a good idea to put together a small arsenal of weapons, get on a train, traverse across the country, check a hotel where the president and cabinet members, key members of the cabinet, will all be there with one goal in mind: to kill them? How can a teacher in America think that that's okay? It's not okay. And it's all connected. My belief is that the Democrat ecosystem monopolizes culture. It's across entertainment, media, politics, news, government, academia, fashion, art, sports. It goes on and on. And this is all these individuals, like this guy out in California, the shooter, all of these individuals, it's what they're taking in all the time. And they think it's okay then to commit violent acts. And this is why it's important for us to shut down people like Kimmel. I'm not talking about stopping free speech at all. Just to be clear, I'm a proponent of the First Amendment. I'm a free speech absolutist. What I'm talking about here is, when is it right to take the temperature nationally and look into a situation like this so that nobody else gets hurt? Look at, like, from your background as a police officer, who I have respect for police officers. My family had members of the police force for decades. You tell me, what would make an individual think it's okay to go across the country with weapons to kill the president? Something's got to be wrong.
Yeah, and I love that you brought up the point that this is like the average American, right? I mean, generally speaking, this is
Yeah.
a person who's teaching at a university. This is not a person who's a loner, who has no responsibilities, who he's willing to give up his entire life. And it's not like he wasn't in academia, right? He had some little invention that he was trying to do. He got some awards. I think he got like Teacher of the Month or something like that. So he had some accomplishments. And even that person is so hypnotized with hatred that he's willing to traverse the country and either be killed or spend the rest of his life in prison. Like, it is worth it to a teacher, a common man that's educating the next generation, that he think that it's more important to go and kill the president, who is
Right.
none of the things that they say he is. If anything, he's a president you disagree with, but to say he's Hitler and he's a Nazi and he's a fascist, and
Yeah.
that tells you how it has permeated the minds of these individuals who are, I think, most susceptible.
Correct. And go a little deeper. So I say the Democrat Party should look in the mirror. It's wild to me that the Democrat Party is happy to get behind people like Mamdani and Ilhan Omar, other radicals that are not even fans of America. They're publicly against capitalism and democracy, but only two members of the Democrat Party during this time period have come out and spoken against Kimmel did. David Axelrod said Kimmel should apologize. And of course, Senator Fetterman, who at this point, he's basically a Republican, so it doesn't even matter. So, like, how could all of these people within the Democrat Party, not more than two, could come out and say, well, maybe Kimmel crossed the line? Is everything political now?
I think, and I think the answer to that is, for them, 100%. I do not understand how they're claiming that Donald Trump is raising the temperature, so we need to raise the temperature. That's not logical. That's like a child. It's like if somebody's saying certain things and I can choose on my end to not engage in it. And so these people are, and they have in my opinion, a bigger platform than the president and the first lady because they are networked and broadcast to people every day, 24 hours a day, pushing propaganda that they know is a lie. And I think that the FCC should hold them responsible for lying, not for giving, an articulable opinion about something, but to flat out say he's a rapist, quotes things that they know to be false, having to redact and take things down and give legal notes and be sued for just complete lies that they've told against the president. So I know that you have, a busy man, especially with all the things that you said you do and all of the great work that Melania is doing with your help and assistance. So I'm not going to hold you long, but where can people go and be more supportive and find out more about what the First Lady is doing?
Well, I would highly encourage everyone to check out her website, melaniatrump.com. She's got some cool stuff happening there. We stand up all of Be Best and Fostering the Future. You could see her artificial intelligence powered book in multiple languages now. You could get a piece of that if you want. She's got jewelry that she just launched for Mother's Day. There's a lot going on that shows everything that she's doing. So I would recommend people check that out. And for those in your audience, your fans who are in former military, she also owns USA Memorabilia.com, which is really very patriotic. You should take a look at that too. So melaniatrump.com and usamemorabilia.com.
And Mark, you have a podcast as well. I forgot to mention that. What's the name of your podcast?
Some Future. So basically what Some Future Day does is we look at issues that surround technology and culture. I've written a couple of best-selling books that you alluded to. My recent one, Some Future Day, How AI is Going to Change Everything, went to #1 on Amazon. Really excited and grateful for that. And basically it shows people how they could use AI today to improve their career, their family, and their communities without being a massive tech geek. If you're a regular person that doesn't understand much about tech and engineering, but you want the tools today to use AI, small business owner wants to run a campaign, creative wants to create a new hip hop song, you go to my book and I give you all the tools after every single chapter.
Mark Beckman, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to having you back, and God bless you for the work that you do, and I'm praying for your continued success.
Thank you so much. I feel the same way for you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
All right. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another incredible interview. Make sure you go and check out Melania's website. I think it's absolutely incredible, the things that she's done. And I think she's probably the most underrated first lady to ever live. It is insane to me. But hopefully one day, with our support, we can turn that around. So thank you guys for joining us on another interview. God bless you. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. We out of here.